JFD, just fair and direct.
Okay, hello and good morning everyone. Welcome to JFD Traders Espresso with me, Darius Anucauskas. Today is the 8th of October 2021. So yep, welcome everyone. Welcome to this Friday's morning session where we're going to have a very quick look at the markets, a few of the charts, the usual stuff. But before we do that, as always, let's quickly have a read through our risk disclaimer. So the content we produce does not constitute investment advice or investment recommendation, should not be considered as such, and does not in any way constitute an invitation to acquire any financial instrument or product. As always, I'll give you a few seconds to read the rest, and we can continue. Okay, so yep, before we jump into the charts, as always, just a quick mentioning of our JFD YouTube channel, to which you can always subscribe to in order not to miss any of our upcoming videos, and of course our JFD Bank website, and specifically our JFD research page, which we also update on a daily basis. So yep, check us out here on jfdbank.com and click on the research tab right there on the top. So now then, so yep, we can see in the chat room here, Evo, yep, good morning to you too. I hope you're having a wonderful start of Friday. So yep, welcome everyone to the last trading day of this week. So yep, let's see what we have here. Now the first one actually I want to pick up here is Nikkei 225, just to see where it ended the week, and yep, there we go. So in a way it kind of worked out perfectly. So the plan was this week, which I mentioned to you, that in a way if it falls below this downside line, the next target is this 27,481 territory, which we managed to reach and also overshoot a little bit here, but we'll take that as a good result. And what I said, that if it continues to provide support, a nice little rebound could be possible back to this downside line, which was broken. And yep, so far we kind of did exactly that. So we did test this downside line. We also kind of slightly overshot it and almost tested this 28,344 level, and then yep, the index drifted back down and still closed the session in positive territory. But this is where the tricky bit here is now. It's below this downside line taken from the high of the 18th of March, but it's back above the 200-day EMA. So in other words, going into next week, of course, excuse me. Going into next week, we'll see if this downside line continues to provide resistance. If it doesn't, then we could maybe consider a larger correction here to the upside if the index pops above this 28,344 level. Now, if it stays below this downside line, of course, yes, another slide could be possible here. But this time, if you're a little bit more on the cautious side, then what you can do here is just maybe wait for that drop below the 27,481 territory right here, and then yeah, we could aim for that lowest point of August. For now, we'll just leave it there and wait for next week. Now jumping into Shanghai Composite, and here we have well, finally the Chinese market has opened after a long kind of holiday. But interestingly, that yes, if you remember, I talked about this one in the beginning of this week. Basically, I said that we're keeping an eye on these two lines here, the kind of the short-term upside line taken from the low of the 28th of July, and the another short-term downside line taken from the high of the 14th of September. So the index remained in between these two lines. It's still trading, but it seems that it might kind of stay here, maybe kind of in anticipation of next week, when it could, let's say, have a little bit more, a few more extra trading days, I would say. But anyway, for now, like I said, keep your eyes on these two lines. If one of those if one of these get broken, then yes, we'll consider the next short-term directional move. But also for the upside, for example, what you can do here is keep your eyes on the, well, the current highest point of this week. I mean, near the 3,612 territory. I mean, that's highest point formed by only one candle, but nevertheless, let's keep an eye on it. And if for the downside drop, well, first of all, a break of this upside line, and then a drop below the low of the, if I'm not mistaken, the lowest point of September. Let me just quickly double check. No, sorry, that's the low, the 29th of September, near the 3,518 territory, approximately around here. And as you drop below, it may open the door towards lower levels. The German index DAX so popped nicely higher yesterday. Traveled above this downside line. This is what I talked about, and actually yesterday in the morning I said that we are already above this downside line at that point on the cash index. If we take a look at the cash index today right now, then we'll see that the price is sitting at around 15,235 levels. So basically we're kind of back, we're not back down here, but a little bit lower. We are above this 15,200 zone, and if you remember in the beginning of this week I also mentioned this level here, the area, actually not this one, but this one right here, the area near the 15,246, and said that if we pop above that to the 15,250, then yes, higher levels could be met. I mean, we could go for a slightly larger correction to the upside, and to be honest, and then I kind of readjusted here towards this 15,200 level. I'm still keeping an eye on it, but it's interestingly that this first level kind of played out much better, I would say. So yeah, it provided decent resistance. So so yeah, this is probably a moment where need to kind of stick to initial plan. But nevertheless, I mean, I would say that the initial plan is working out partially because yes, the level is providing resistance. So in other words, if we pop above this barrier, then yes, we could go for maybe a larger correction here to the upside. But again, let's be very careful, let's be very cautious here for now. And yeah, we are seeing that the cash index is slightly below this barrier, below that 15,250 zone. If we pop above it, then yes, a move towards this downside line taken from the high of the 31st of August might be possible. Dow Jones Industrial Average yesterday, good result here, pushed north and tested this downside line. And what I talked about previously, if you remember, what I said, that if we move above this 34,410 territory, then yes, we could consider maybe slightly a further correction here to the upside. We did do that. In a way, I would say mission accomplished here, because this downside line got held. Well, not the downside line, but the downside line held the index from moving further north. Now, one of the levels actually need to adjust here, this 34,990 zone. Yes, it did find resistance near that area, but also what I'm looking at here is the high of the 27th of September near the 35,061 zone, just to be a little bit more careful. So in other words, if you're looking for some upside on this one, then basically wait for at least a break of this downside line, and then yes, we could slowly aim for these two barriers, the 34,990 and the 35,061 level. Yeah, of course, today's the big day here in terms of economic data. We do have the new U.S. non-farm payrolls coming out, so keep your eyes on those. It will be quite interesting to see if actually the number comes out better than the forecast. Currently, the forecast is almost twice more than the previous number. So let's see if we manage to hit that level or even higher. But again, I always recommend you guys to wait for the news to come out and then do something about it with the instruments, because again, sometimes it could, you think it's going to go one way, but actually, even if the data comes out in the way F as it should come out, for example, then yep, we have maybe an opposite reaction in the instrument. So again, wait for the news to come out and then react to it. Now jumping into another index here, the DXY, the dollar index, also keeping an eye on it today. And if you remember, yesterday I said that we might stay somewhere around here until kind of the US data comes out today. So far, it's still looking quite positive. I would say it's trading above this upside line taken from the low of the 16th of September. However, a push above this 94.50 level is needed. A nice good pop above this barrier would confirm a forthcoming higher high, and more buyers could join in. In terms of the downside here, well, a break of this upside line is still needed in order to consider maybe a bit of a larger correction to the downside. So keep that in mind. Jumping into gold, still kind of stuck here between below the 21-day EMA, but above this downside line and above this 1745 level. So if you remember, I talked about this idea where I said that it did break this downside line taken from the high of the 3rd of September, but then it kind of drifted back down, started sliding alongside of it, on top of it, but I said that it might act as a nice little trampoline. However, if it is going to be a little trampoline here, then still wait for a pop above the 1770 level at least. That's the current highest point of this week. A nice good pop above it, yes, may open the door towards higher levels. So also keep your eyes on gold today during the US data release. So yeah, let's see which way this is gonna break. And for the downside, I'm looking for lower levels if we drop below the 1745 level right here, and if we drop and stay below it. Now WTI oil very quickly here. So look at this beautiful move, and this is where I keep saying that always wait for that confirmation, either break or close. And here in this situation, we saw the commodity drifting lower. Yes, it moved nicely to the downside. However, at the end of the day, the bulls managed to pick it up here and drive it back above this 76.95 level, which is the highest, which was the previous highest point of this year. And we stayed above it, and now we are targeting this current highest point of this week, and that's roughly around the 79.76 zone. If you remember, in the beginning of this week, I was targeting this level here, the 100% retracement on the Fibonacci extension, which is roughly around that 81.37 level. So let's see if that's going to get tested today or not. I will consider a move toward that area if we pop above the current highest point of this week. Litecoin very quickly on that one, and still slowly grinding higher, I would say, but not really confidently. It's still trading above all of its EMAs on the daily chart, so in a way kind of that could be seen as a nice little positive thing here, but we are still kind of, like I said, slowly grinding, and after we broke this downside line, we're now kind of trading above this upside support line taken from the low of the 29th of September. So in a way, in order to get a little bit more comfortable with, let's say, with the upside, probably just to wait for a push above the current highest point of this week near the 187.22. A nice good pop above it would confirm a forthcoming higher high, guys. So yeah, keep that in mind. For the downside, I would need to see a drop, well, actually somewhere below this hurdle, just to be a little bit more on the safe side. This level is near the, it's the low of the 6th of October. This is not the lowest point of this week. The lowest point of this week is here, near the low of the 4th of October, near the 161.48. You could keep an eye on that one as well, just to be a little bit maybe on the safe side, but basically a nice good break of this upside line and a drop below all of the EMAs potentially could start opening the door towards lower areas, and then you could take it from there, guys. AUDUSD, guys, so this one's quite interesting. I talked about this one recently as well, and yesterday, to be more precise. I talked about this potential idea maybe of seeing a inverted head and shoulders pattern. So we have our left little shoulder here, and now we form the right shoulder. This is the neckline, and yeah, so let's see if this is going to be the case, and if we're going to get a nice little move here above this neckline, which is roughly around that 0.7322, and this is where I have to slightly adjust the level. 0.7322 zone, a nice pop above it, yes, may clear the path towards higher levels. And we could then target the 0.7410 zone, or the 0.7478 level right here. For the downside, I would need to see a drop below the 0.7220 territory right here, at least below this area, in order to consider slightly lower levels. Also, something that to keep an eye on today is USDJPY. For now, you can see that the pair is comfortably moving to the upside. It broke this, got out of this little squeeze. I've talked about this yesterday. It broke this little downside line. We can get rid of it now. It's now continuing to move up alongside this upside line taken from the low of the 22nd of September, and but as I said to you before, I need to see a nice good pop above this this barrier here, the high of the highest point of September, which is around the 112.08 level. If that gets clear, then yes, this will confirm a forthcoming higher high, guys. And then the next target here could be this this peak here. The I do understand it's not far, but keep your eyes on it. That's the highest point of February of 2020, and or in other words, actually the highest point of 2020. So that level is roughly around that 112.23. If that provides some sort of resistance, then certainly yes, maybe a bit of a retracement could be possible. However, if it fails to do so, the next target is the highest point of April of 2019, and that's roughly around that 112.40 level. So keep in mind these levels right here. I know that they're very close, but they're quite significant. USDCHF. I've mentioned this before this week. I said that basically it seems that we are forming here somewhat of a rising wedge pattern. However, as long as the boundaries of the wedge remain kind of intact, then yes, the direction could still be to the upside. So you can see that it continues to move comfortably within this pattern. However, if the lower side of the pattern gets broken, then this could open the door towards lower levels. So for now, I'm not going to draw any levels here. Basically, I'm just going to, like I said, look at it this way, that as long as it stays within this this pattern, yes, it could continue moving north. Now, just a quick update here on the US dollar against the Russian ruble. I've mentioned this one yesterday in my morning video, basically what I said to you yesterday, that we were still trading above this hurdle, this 72.14 zone, and I said that if we do break this hurdle, then this could open the door towards lower levels, because at the moment we kind of are still forming these lower lows and lower highs, and yep, as you can see, it went for a new lower low. But what I said to you previously, that my next target is initially the 71.97 level, which we managed to reach, and then the lowest point of June of this year, near the 71.55 territory right here. And as you can see, we had a perfect hit. Mission accomplished, I would say. For now, I'm going to stay a little bit careful here. I'm going to, like I said, keep an eye on the oil and non-farm payrolls today, because yeah, we do have a pair which could kind of get a knock-on effect from the movement in DXY and oil. So yep, let's see how this is going to play out. However, if this 71.55 territory surrenders again, well, this could be opening, and this is where I need to keep keep an eye here on this 70.45 zone marked by the low of the 21st of July of 2020, and then we could basically take it from there. This would confirm a forthcoming lower low, I mean this break here, and then yes, more sellers could join in. However, we did have a decent down move here in the short run, so maybe a bit of a retracement here could be possible. So however, I'm considering maybe something like this instead. So there we go. And GBPJPY, also quite interesting. So we are, let's say moving sideways a little bit here on the overall picture, but from the very short-term perspective, you can see that it, after finding support here back in the end of September near the 148.96 level, it pushed higher, then retraced. However, it formed a higher low and is now trying to make its way north here. Let's see if it can go for a higher high, but it would need to overcome these two barriers first, maybe the 152.57 and 152.85 levels, and then yes, we could go for some higher levels. Now, for now, like I said, it's an interesting one, it's a tricky one, but let's keep an eye on it. And like I said, keep your eyes on these two barriers here today. Let's see if those get broken. If those get broken, then my next target is the high of the 29th of July. In terms of the downside on this one, now this is where of course we could try to draw a tentative upside line here. If it continues to provide support, then yes, of course the direction will be to the upside. However, if it gets broken, well, this is where it could open the door towards maybe some lower levels. EURCHF, I haven't looked at this one for quite a while. Basically, as you can see, after finding good resistance here on the 20th of September near the 1.0938, and the pair drifted back down, and well, it's coming very close now to this, or should I say, it came already very close to this lowest point of August near the 1.0696 levels. So in a way, I would say that maybe here we had a nice little head and shoulders pattern actually working out nicely. So with the neckline being this one right here, so the pattern, yeah, we could consider that maybe as a nice little head and shoulders pattern, which already kind of, let's say, got confirmed and kind of and almost completed, to be honest. So now what I'm looking at here is, if we're looking for some more downside, now don't get me wrong, we had a decent down move already, so maybe a bit of a retracement back up could be possible. However, if it gets a hold up somewhere near this neckline, the continuation of this neckline, then another slide might be possible. But if you're a little bit more on the careful side, what you can do here is wait for a drop below this lowest point of August first near the 1.0696, and then target the lowest point of November of 2020 near the 1.0648 territory, and then we'll take it from there. And finally, EURUSD. So this one is also waiting for the NFP number today, and as you can see, yesterday I talked about this one, and I said that it might stay in this little territory right here in anticipation of the today's data release. So it did exactly that. So it didn't move much. I mean, it just stayed below this 1.1563 territory, but above the current lowest point of this week near the 1.1529 zone. So we're keeping an eye on these two levels, especially the one on the downside here. If we get a nice break below it, then this will confirm a forthcoming lower low. And well, my next target is this this level, the 1.1422. However, let me just adjust a few things here as well. So maybe actually this 1.1452 zone marked by the high of the 15th of July could also play out nicely. So yep, let's see if one of these levels is going to get reached today. If we get a break below this 1.1529 level, if for the upside I need to see a break of this steep tentative downside, short-term tentative downside resistance line taken from the high of the 14th of September in order to consider a bit of a move to the upside. So guys, that's it for this session. I really hope you found it useful, and thank you very much for watching and listening. I really appreciate your time, guys. Thank you very much for tuning in this whole week. I really appreciate that, as I said. Thank you for your views, for your likes, your comments. I really do. So I hope you stay safe today, both health-wise and market-wise. Have your stop losses in place, and yep. Try not to overtrade, guys. It's Friday, so better prepare yourself for Monday, and we'll start fresh on Monday. But happy trading today, and yep, always have your stop loss in place. Thank you very much, and bye-bye.